I don't usually remember how I meet most of my friends. They just kind of show up in my life. But for Ty, I always kind of remembered that how we first met. It was at this kind of get together day or whatever, get to connect day or something. This like popsicle party where our kindergarten class met up at Normandale Park, and it was a pretty fun time because that's kind of where me and Ty really met up. He kind of approached me first, like we were sitting on the teeter totter, and this was like a really long time ago, but it was a good time because that's really where I met Ty, and that's kind of where our friendship started.
Um, One great memory that I have of him is how supportive he was and how, you know, unfazed he was by all the pressures of everything else. And one instance of this is when our friend Andreas started a Bible club or sort of youth group for other Christians at Edina. Um, I didn't start going right away because I hadn't really heard about it. And then when Ty was telling me about it, he wanted me to start showing up and going to it. And I remember kind of looking at the Instagram and some of the posts of the group and, thinking, oh, I don't know if I'll really fit in with this crowd and if I'll, really have fun while I'm there. Am I gonna, are people there gonna like me, or are they just gonna, not accept me? And Ty just kept going, and every week he was trying to get me to show up. Every week he'd be like, "Yo, come tomorrow morning. It'll be great." And I always came up with an excuse, whether I needed to get sleep, or I was up late, or I had something else in the morning. I just kept coming up with excuses because I was sort of afraid to go. And that's kind of the thing about Ty. He didn't really care about you know any of the problems we see in high school. He was just trying to get me, his friend, to come with him to something that I think he knew I wanted to go to, because I did want to go to them, but I just didn't know if I would like some of the people who were there. I didn't know if they would accept me. And um, one time he, went out of his way. He was like, "Okay, I can take you and we can go to this together because um, I really want you to be there and I think you'll really enjoy it." And so one week I did go with him to it, and I ended up having a great time, and I've gone every week since. Didn't really worry about waking up early or anything. And that just stuck with me so much because that showed the kind of friend who he was. He didn't see problems with other people. He only saw the good in people. And he wanted me to go there because he knew it's something I wanted to do. He knew I wanted to continue, pushing my faith, and he knew it would be good for me. And, that's just one of the things I loved about him, because he didn't conform to pressures. He didn't get intimidated by anybody. He was always himself. He was always true to us, his friends, and to his morals. He was really a great person, and I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him for things like that. But I'm also gonna keep going, and I'm gonna talk about him, and I'm gonna talk about who he was, because he was a great friend and he was a great person.
Hi, I'm Ari, and my favorite memory of Ty is when him and our friends would come over to my house and we played basketball in my backyard. And every time we did that, it was fun, no matter what, no matter if it was 90, if it was snowing, if it was wet. It was always fun to hang out with him and all of us. And he brought a great energy to the group, and he was just a fun person to be around.
A couple of fond moments I have with Ty are during sports. Like during basketball, me and Ty coached the rec team, JJC, together. We had a lot of funny conversations while they're playing, and really helped the team a lot during those games. Another memory of Ty is during baseball. He had a great Evis pitch, um, and it was very funny to see all the other players swinging and missing at like 20-mile-an-hour pitch. It was like 20 feet in the air. Somehow lands in the zone. Funny memories of Ty during baseball have been that Eva's pitch, playing with Ari and Ty, just those moments together, and just being on this team for the past like 5 years when we played baseball. More memories have been just playing basketball in Ari's backyard. He'd stand in the corner and just drain threes, like shots we did not think he could make. He'd just drain them from beyond the three-point line, and just the most clutch shots.
So, some memories of Ty that I have that I really remember. This past year, I really remember because we both had open periods, first period, for school, and I remember a lot of times, he would be playing Clash Royale or Brawl Stars during this period, and I would be doing schoolwork, and I always look over and I would always ask him like, "Bro, you got some homework, right?" And he's like, "Nah, bro, I'm chilling." And he just like, on his AirPods playing Brawl Stars for like 45 minutes to start off his day, which makes sense because he had like 40,000 trophies and he was like he was so good at these games. And so like more about how good he was at Brawl Stars. I remember going over for sleepovers at his house with a bunch of boys, and we do like these 5v5 battles with one another. And I remember every time, like essentially every time Ty was on my team, we would win, and then every time he wasn't on our team, we wouldn't win. And it was pretty crazy. And so that meant like a lot of sleepovers. I'd be going to bed without a single win, which was pretty devastating. But then there were some nights which were better if I played with Ty. So, and then one other funny memory I have of him was when we these past 2 years. This last year he was kind of our coach, but then the year before he was kind of like our he filmed some of our games, and so he got the highs and lows of rec basketball, which is very different. There's like times when you get like some like Jack Harwell hitting like a 30-foot fadeaway, and then some like airball half court airball layups, like the very lows of rec basketball. And so we got to film all of that, and I remember the specific play where I was always considered a shooter, even though I was these last 2 years I've not been good shooting. But he, I got somehow I got open, which is usually common because rec basketball defense is pretty bad. But I got open in the corner for a three. He's got the camera on me, he films it, and all the guys on our bench is like hype me up. He's like, "Oh, let's go T," and they see the ball, and I misshot it so badly it hit the side of the rim and it came back, and everyone was like, "Oh," like, and then I'm running back. I'm like, "Oh, my team's gonna be embarrassed," but then I look back and the one guy who's just dying laughing is Ty, and I remember that almost made the whole situation better because I was like, I almost just laughed it off afterwards. I thought it was, oh, this is an embarrassing moment, but then I was like, I look back at the film and look back at those plays, and I only find it funny now, and that was kind of a cool memory where it's just like, him laughing just totally made the situation so unserious, and that was essentially every play we had in rec basketball, and that was a ton of fun. Yeah.
One story I have about Ty, one of my favorite memories about Ty, is playing basketball over at Ari's house. It just was really fun, and one of my favorite memories over there is how Ty would shoot. He'd do these hook shots like Kareem, but like deep threes, and somehow he'd make it almost every time. Um, it was unguardable. No one could even guard it, but it would just switch, and he was just the clutchest. He'd just make it when like we were playing in 21, and it would be like 18 to 17, and he'd drain a three to win. It was unbelievable. Um, but he worked so hard. I mean, he picked up basketball like that. But one of my favorite shots he's had was his first shot ever over at Ari's when we were playing basketball. He shoots this three, and he shoots it over the hoop, and it goes over into the alley. Just wasn't even close. But he shoots 5 more right after, and he makes them all. It just was absurd to me. It was just awesome. It was just crazy. I don't know. That's my memory.
My most fondest memory of Ty was our trip to France that we took together sophomore year in February. The whole time, or we got there, Ty was almost a reckless mess. I think he was to the ER 2 or 3 times. First time it was food poisoning he had from a whole bunch of seafood. Still don't know how he got it from that. He got an eyelash stuck up in his eyelid, which I saw the photos. I was there with him for a part of it. It was the smallest little thing. It was so funny seeing him and how he was acting just up on the whole trip. And he was like that through our mountain hikes that we took with our exchange students. And even through all that, like the pain that he had to go through with all the food poisoning and eyelash in the eyelid, he still was able to brighten the mood. He still had so much fun. And during the trip, he told me how much fun he had. After the trip, he told me how much fun he had. And I know that was such a good memory for the both of us. He helped me grow as a person on that trip. I understand him more now after that trip. We talked so much during that trip. We got even closer than we were before. I didn't know how much of a good person he was until after that trip that's the trip where he invited me to join Garden Manhattan. After that I grew closer in my faith. He's always been there. He's always helped me grow. Just always be grateful for that. And some other great memories upon that French trip was I think every single meal that we got to have like by ourselves, we got to have some free time together. Every single meal we got, he always dragged me into having spaghetti bolognese. Even though we're in France, not in Italy, we were trying to get some French food, he's always demanding that we go get some spaghetti bolognese. And even when we got back, that's all we would eat together. It's just, I think that was and ever since then, I've just been addicted to it. It's my favorite meal now. It's just always on my mind, and it's kind of like it's a calming food for me now, just knowing that I can tie that food back to Ty and just the memories that I shared with him in France. Some more memories from me and Ty is just we did a lot of mountain hiking in France, in the south of France. Every time it was with him, it was me and Ty, and then like our group of 18 other girls. It was fun to see a different side of France, being with American students while speaking French, and just like kids that I've grown up with, going to Normandale, being able to share the experience of being in another country with like classmates and being so young and being able to be in France, and especially with Ty, just getting to share those memories with him. But bringing back to those hikes, it's just the time we got to spend together, I cherish so much. Even now, I cherish it so much even before. I think that was probably one of the best times in my life there. Just being able to grow and being able to experience the world with him, kind of just, yeah, best time of my life there. And I'll always cherish those memories with Ty. And then when we returned from France, just straight back with it. Spaghetti bolognese. We did some hiking still after. Not like the mountains in France. Those are some crazy things we could do there. We had some amazing photos in France too. Like, I'm sure they'll be playing, but that was some great memories with Ty.